Hello everyone, hope you are all fine and enjoying this afternoon. Whether we should think on our gut feeling versus we should implement our logical thinking for our entrepreneurship journey. So to start, let me give you with this quite provoking quotes from John Bernard Shaw. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. So, all the progress depends on the unreasonable man. This is very interesting and provoking. Should we be a reasonable or unreasonable man? But before that, let me share a bit of my story of life. In different parts of the journey, sebelumnya back dulu. In different parts of the journey, I really like to drink, and maybe when I was in some of your age as ITB students, I haven't been going abroad even for once. So at that time, I wanted to find a job that gives me opportunity for doing that. Hence, I joined BCG in consulting. That gives me opportunity to travel abroad very often and give me scholarship for my MBA. So, long story short, I was in MBA. In MBA in Berkeley, I had a time to see many different tech companies in Silicon Valley. Hence, I had another dream of creating my own company. Long story short, I think I achieved that dream or even exceeded it. I exited my startup. My startup is bought by Grab, a much bigger tech company, and I gave a good impact to the people. Right now, what I'm doing is literally daydreaming. I'm doing my sabbatical time. I took a reflection time for me to think what have I done and to be a better base for my next journey. And with that, I will share my experience. So, do you know this? Oh, okay, there are some figures there already. Basically, these figures are big startup founders. Steve Wozniak of Apple, Larry and Sergey from Google, and Phil Knight from Nike. Why am I putting these people here? I think this is a very good example of someone that starts the entrepreneurship journey in the right way. The backstory of these people, Steve Wozniak, even after founding Apple, he was still working as an engineer in HP. Larry and Sergey, after founding Google, they were still students. They were PhD students in Stanford. And Phil Knight, he was still an accountant while selling Nike shoes. Why is it important? Because when you start an entrepreneurship journey, it is a lifetime choice. So better, you need to think very carefully. It's not just about jumping ship. It's not just about dropping out from school. It has to be a well-thought thinking. And they did their thinking. They are trying to be very safe and very calculated in the way they think about their decision. And for myself, when I started Kudo in 2014, I was not just dropping out from MBA. No, even I was still working. After I graduated, I was still working officially in BCG. I took leave of absence. So just in case my idea didn't work out, I can still go back. Thank God it was working. And when I got my bigger investment, I decided to quit. I paid back my scholarship to BCG, and I started the journey in Kudo wholly. But in the beginning, I was having a safety net. It helps me to think clearer on my journey. It helps me to be very honest on the idea, to take a good feedback. 33%. This is the number. There is a research from Agung, is that the chance of failure is 33% lower if an early entrepreneurs keep their daily job compared to someone that is just jumping ship and just dropping out. This one, when you start an entrepreneurship journey, it's not just about, I would say in the beginning, overnight success. It's not just about trying to get a title of CEO. It's not just about having your own company. It is a life option that will impact many people, your family, your team. So thinking this through is very important. But more importantly, when you start an entrepreneurship journey, what is important is not just, oh, I have idea of doing this. I think that was a very wrong thing to start with. The most important is first, try to find a problem. What is the problem that is happening? And I meant real problem. Don't invent the problem. Some people just try to have an idea and try to find a problem that fits with the idea. That was so wrong. Number one, find a real problem. Number two, better the real problem is big enough to solve. What I meant by this is that along the way, there are a lot of problems. But somehow, if you choose just a problem without considering whether it's big or not, your traction will just be so-so. 2-3 years down the road, you are confused, where am I going? I've addressed the problem, yes, you're right, but it's not big enough, unfortunately. So, real problem, big enough problem. Last one, the most important. You need to be passionate to solve that problem. Why is it important? Because solving, being an entrepreneur is not again just speaking as a TEDx speaker, for example, or quoted in TechCrunch. It's not about that. It's really about talking to your customer. It's about solving the problem. And it is hard. That hardship will be sustained if you have enough passion. So, to be able to do this, you need to think clearer. Having, for example, external factors push, for example, family is not supportive. That is very difficult. If you are chased by anything, it's also not. It will be also very difficult. So, having a clear mindset and environment for your thinking, it helps you to create a good product. Next one. That was about starting it. Right now it's about growing it. I believe some of you are familiar with this. It's a story of Elizabeth Holmes of Theranos and story of Adam Newman of WeWork. We can learn a lot from these two people. Unfortunately, not a good one, but it's a good lesson learned. Elizabeth Holmes, she has amazing grade. She was a PhD. She was a student in Stanford, somehow dropping out and created Theranos with the vision of creating an accessible and painless blood diagnostic. It is a very grand vision. With just a droplet of your blood, she imagines she can analyze every single thing. She has a very amazing, unreasonable dream. Somehow, the way she is trying to execute is also unreasonable. That's the problem. She was even thinking against the nature of science. A droplet of blood is not enough to analyze everything. It's not enough by science. Even she was reminded by the best scientists in the world of blood analysis. It's not possible. She didn't listen. Look where it is right now for Theranos. It's bankrupt after $9 billion valuations, few $100 million raising. It went bankrupt. Adam Newman, he was having like the dream of reinventing workspace, reinventing the people, how the people work. Amazing dream. However, when he executed it, he didn't pay enough attention to the financial viability of his idea. He was just doing it. He was shined by fame, glory. I want to do this. I want a big valuation. We were filed for IPO 47 billion. It went for IPO in 9 billion. Thank God the business is still there because it's a good business. Just the way he grew it was not right. And this is interesting. This is current world right now. I took this a week ago. I took this week. This was a week ago. SoftBank, Tiger Global. They lost billions of dollars just this month because tech world was going down. It was a bear market right now as we speak. Many venture capitals in the world was pulling their commitment from investment because this is a scary environment right now as we speak. So, bear market like this right now is a very good time for us to reflect. And my time is currently being used to reflect as well. Reflect on what? Reflect on when we grow something, when we start doing something, what is our motivation? Is it an overnight success? What are we chasing? Are we chasing a big valuation? Are we proud when we have like 100 employees, 1,000 employees? Is that the right metrics? I think this is the time for us to really see what would be the right way to scale a company.
What will be the way we think about scaling a company where what is important is about sustainable growth. It's about the right unit economics, like profitable unit economics. It's not just about spending, growing, spending, and growing. So, with this, I think I will give you 3 lessons, 3 tips for ending this. Number 1, when you want to create a company, when you have your idea, what is most important is first, have a humility to listen. Listen and learn. Why is it important? Because by listening, you remove your ego that your idea is your best. It's not about your idea, it's about what the user wants. Remember, you are solving a problem. First thing first, start listening to the problems, not listening to your head. Number 2, after listening, having the right data and read the data honestly. Why is it important? Because when you have the data is a good feedback. But sometimes we want the data to read differently, to read based on what we want it to be. That is wrong. We need to read the data honestly. When the data is bad, then it is bad. I think it is a good data in the sense that it gives us a chance to improve. Last but not least, take a step back. In the world of many different expectations, in the world of many, fear of missing out, we sometimes just run. We don't take enough time to take a step back. taking a step back. When you want to have a decision, any decision, take a step back. For me, sometimes even I sleep through it first. When I want to have a very big thing, I don't make a decision just in time. I sleep through it. What a difference can make for a night sometimes for a very big decision. Take a step back and thinking on the consequences. Very important. So after seeing this and taking a step back, you will realize that, oh, I have a flaw. Take a step back and try to ask feedback to your friends, to your family, to the people that will be impacted by your decision. That is something that I would say combining unreasonable dream. You can dream big like Elon Musk with a reasonable execution. So I hope this talk, you guys are the next generations of leaders. The next generations of leaders in the next companies. In this bear market, I would hope that this mindset is instilled so that going forward, the company will be the company that is more resilient, stronger, and sustainable. With that, thank you very much.